understand it is our campaign, our movement, which is best positioned to defeat Trump. You cannot beat Trump with the same old kind of politics. What we need is a new politics that brings working class people into our political movement, which brings young people into our political movement, and which in November will create the highest voter turnout in American political history. So we're going to beat Trump because this will become a contrast in ideas. One of us in this race led the opposition to the war in Iraq. You're looking at him. Another candidate voted for the war in Iraq. One of us has spent his entire life fighting against cuts in Social Security, wanting to expand Social Security. Another candidate has been on the floor of the Senate calling for cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and Veterans Program. One of us led the opposition to disastrous trade agreements which cost us millions of good-paying jobs. And that's me. And another candidate voted for disastrous trade agreements. One of us stood up for consumers and said we will not support a disastrous bankruptcy bill. And another candidate represented the credit card companies and voted for that disastrous bill. So here we are. We have two major goals in front of us, and they are directly related. First, we must beat a president who apparently has never read the Constitution of the United States. A president who thinks we should be an autocracy, not a democracy. But second of all, we need a movement and are developing a movement of black, white, Latino, Native American, Asian American, gay and straight. Of people who are making it clear every day they will not tolerate the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality we are experiencing. We will not give tax breaks to billionaires when 500,000 Americans sleep out on the streets. We will not allow 49% of all new income to go to the 1% when half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I don't know what's going to happen later tonight. We're doing well in Texas right now. We won Colorado. And I'm cautiously optimistic that later in the evening, we can win the largest state in this country, the state of California. But no matter what happens, if this campaign, and I don't know what will happen, but if it comes out to be a campaign in which we have one candidate who is standing up for the working class and the middle class, we're going to win that election. And if we have another candidate who has received contributions from at least 60 billionaires, we're going to win that election. And if there is another candidate in the race who is spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, we're going to tell him, in America, you cannot buy elections. So I am excited about where we are. We have come a long, long way. And I want to, once again, thank the great state of Vermont and all of the people in the state. Not only for the victory you gave our movement tonight, but for the years and years of love and support you have given me and my family. So Vermont, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you all very much. Let's go on to the White House. Thank you.
better. They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing. By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, this is Val, you switched on me. This is my wife, this is my sister. They switched on me. Folks, it's still early, but things are looking awful, awful good. For those who've been knocked down, counted out, left behind, this is your campaign. Just a few days ago, the press and the pundits had declared the campaign dead. And then came South Carolina, and they had something to say about it. And we're told, well, when you got to Super Tuesday, it'd be over. Well, it may be over for the other guy. Tell that to the folks in Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Minnesota, and maybe even Massachusetts. It's too close to call. We're still waiting for Texas and California, a few other small states to come in. But it's looking good. So I'm here to report we are very much alive. And make no mistake about it, this campaign that will send Donald Trump packing, this campaign is taking off. Join us. To those folks, listen, go to joebiden.com. Sign up, volunteer, contribute if you can. We need you, we want you, and there's a place for you in this campaign. People are talking about a revolution. We started a movement. We've increased turnout. And the turnout's turned out for us. That can deliver us to a moment where we can do extraordinary, extraordinary things. Look. Our agenda is bold, it's progressive, it's a vision where health care is affordable and available to everybody in America. Where we bring drug prices down under control with no more surprise billing. Access to hospitals in rural areas as well as urban areas. Access to care. A bold vision where we invest billions of dollars to find, and I promise you, cures for cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Standing up to and beating the NRA and the gun manufacturers. And leading the world to take on the existential threat of climate change. I'm going to start by rejoining an outfit I helped put together, the Paris Climate Accord, and we're going to move it a long way. A country where the quality of education will not depend on your zip code. Where we triple funding for low-income school districts, providing raises for teachers, full-time school for 3, 4, and 5 years old, and increasing exponentially the prospects of their success. Free community college, providing credentials for every job of the 21st century. And significant reduction in the cost of going to college and your student debt. If you volunteer, you pay nothing. Folks, we can do this. And let's get something straight. Wall Street didn't build this country. You built this country. The middle class built this country. And unions built the middle class. In the neighborhoods we come from, the three... Well, let's see. We're going to go. Look. The middle class is getting clobbered. The middle class is getting clobbered. Too many people in the neighborhoods that Jill and Val and I grew up in. So they're getting hurt. They're badly hurt. And guess what? They're the places where we come from, many of you come from. It's where we were raised. The people, they're the reason why I'm running. There's the reason why I'm a Democrat in the first place. These are people who build our bridges, repair our roads, keep our water safe, who teach our kids. Look, who race into burning buildings to protect other people, who grow our food, build our cars, pick up our garbage, our streets, veterans, dreamers, single moms. And by the way, every dreamer, have hope because I'm coming and you're not going anywhere. And we're going to provide a pathway for 11 million citizens. If the other guy had voted for the well, I don't shouldn't get into that. I won't get going. Look, the iron workers, the steel workers, the boiler makers, the plumbers, the electrical workers, these are the people that have been forgotten. I agree with you, man. Look, the people Trump forgot, the people I will never forget, and I will always remember. Folks, that's why we need an economy that rewards work, not just wealth. Reestablishes the middle class, and this time brings everybody along. Everybody. Regardless of their race, their ethnicity, whether their gender, their disability, their economic state. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, every stripe. Look, like we did in South Carolina, like we did across America today, like we'll do on all the way to the White House. Look, that's why I was so proud yesterday being embraced by Amy Klobuchar. We won Minnesota because of Amy Klobuchar. And we're doing well in Texas because of Beto O'Rourke. And that's why I was so proud, so incredibly proud to have Mayor Pete's endorsement as well. There's a man of character, intellect, and courage. And by the way, I was proud to be endorsed by Jim Clyburn. Man, he is something else. Look, our campaign reflects the diversity of this party and this nation. And that's how it should be. Because we need to bring everybody along. Everybody. We want a nominee who will beat Donald Trump. But also keep Nancy Pelosi the Speaker of the House. Win back the United States Senate. If that's what you want, join us. And if you want a nominee who's a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Obama-Biden Democrat, join us. Look, this all starts with a revival of decency and honor and character. Trump has fanned the flames of hate and sought to divide us. He's insulted, demonized, and actually just the way he talks about people. He has not a single sense of empathy. He doesn't have any compassion. No regard for the values that made this country who we are. Not the way you were raised by your moms and dads. He looks at honesty and decency and respect, and he views it as a sign of weakness. He doesn't believe that we're the beacon to the world. He doesn't believe we're all part of something bigger than ourselves. That's why I've said from the moment I announced for this candidacy, we're literally in a battle for the soul of America. Folks, winning means uniting America, not sowing seeds of division and anger and hate. We got to beat Donald Trump, and we will, but we can't become like him. We can't have a never-ending war between the parties. We need a president who can fight, but make no mistake about it, I can fight. But look, we need as badly, someone who can heal. Look, just look what we did when we passed Obamacare, or what President Obama and I did saving the American automobile industry, or what we did to pass the Violence Against Women Act. But it's not enough. This is just a start. We need a president who can heal the country as well. And that is what I will do as your president, I promise you. It's about delivering real results for you, your family, and the community. It's not about me, Jill, or Valerie. It's about you. It's about our families. To paraphrase the English poet Robert Browning, he said, our reach should exceed our grasp. And my reach does exceed our grasp because there's no doubt in my mind we can grasp whatever we reach for. Ladies and gentlemen, I quoted an English poet, but let me quote a real poet now. An Irish poet. Seamus Heaney, who wrote a poem called The Curatorian. And here's what he says, and I believe this to the bottom of my being. He said, history says, don't hope on this side of the grave, but then, once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice rises up, and hope and history rhyme. We can make hope and history rhyme because of what we sing. There's nothing we can't do. This is about the future. It's not about the past. It's about our children and our grandchildren. It's about leading this country and leading the world once again. Folks, we just have to remember who we are. My Lord, this is the United States of America. And it's time for America to get back up. And once again, fight for the proposition that we hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men and women are created equal, endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. We say it so often in school, we don't realize how profound it is. We've never lived up to those words, but until this president, we've never walked away from it. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe with every fiber of my being, that's who we are. So let's get back up. We are a decent, brave, resilient people. We can believe again. But we are better than this moment. We are better than this president. So get back up and take back this country, the United States of America. There's not a single thing we can't do. God bless you, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to do this, folks.
So several years ago, I joined an organization called Leadership Austin, and we had what we called our initial retreat. That's when you get a group of 60 people out in the country in Texas, and we get to talk about the different ideas and goals that we have for not only our lives, but for the surrounding communities that we serve. Well, there's this one lady who didn't really speak much at all during our conversations at first, and was just sitting there observing what was going on and taking in the room. And we were kind of like, okay, wait a minute, we're all in this together. We're supposed to be a big group, a big team. What's going on here with that? Well, later on that night, I approached that lady and I asked her, well, hey, my name is Rudy, and I'm from Pflugerville, and what, I know your name's MJ, but I hadn't really heard much from you, this entire time in the room. Suffice to say, we speak for another 3 hours about our viewpoints, ideas, goals, aspirations, and just her thoughts of life in general. And I was so impressed with this person, her demeanor, her aspects, how she carried herself, how she accurately reflected the hopes and ideals in that room and the viewpoints of a variety of different people, and just took it all in. It was awesome. It really was. Fast forward to that same person telling me years later, hey, I'm running for office. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me, dude? This is awesome. Because I knew her heart. I knew the type of person she was. I knew that she's a person who actually builds bridges, who listens to viewpoints, who makes sure that ideas and goals that aren't just hers, but the people that she will serve are truly executed on. And at a time in our country when we have so divisiveness in a variety of things that we do, I couldn't think of a better person to go ahead and be in Washington to represent our goals and viewpoints, to be a change agent, to be a person who's going to make a difference in the lives of not just Texans, but everyone in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to your next senator from the United States, from the great state of Texas, MJ Hager.
Thank you, Rudy. Woo! That's right. Just tell a room full of people how introverted I am, Rudy. Thanks. You know what DC could do with a few more introverts? Because, frankly, I don't know about you guys, but when I look up at DC, I don't see a whole lot of Texas values reflected back. I see a whole lot of people who like to hear themselves talk. So maybe we need a few more people who can listen. Hundreds of thousands of people across the state tonight and over early voting, have stood with us. And I am really excited to tell you that we are walking into the runoff in the strongest possible position, thanks to the army of people across the state who have come together and all put an oar in the water and all pulled in the same direction and put us in the strongest possible position to take on John Cornyn in November. And I am so excited for that. You know what, y'all? It's time. As a combat veteran, I'm concerned about the values of this country that are under attack. And as a working mom, I am terrified about my kids' future if we leave it in the hands of people like Senator John Cornyn. We are fighting to get access to quality, affordable health care for all Texans. We are fighting to not allow the government to tell a woman that she has to have a child, to force a woman to have children before she's ready. We are fighting so that you can choose who you love and who you marry and not let the government tell you that. We're fighting to get aggressive action on climate change before it's too late. And I want to thank you for standing with me against a corrupt system that is not working for us. And how can we expect it to work for us when the people who are in that system, by and large, not all of them, but certainly John Cornyn, are serving the special interests, the gun lobby, the private prison industry, and big pharma, and not us. So I have a message for everyone who has fought tooth and nail with us. I feel like we've been doing this a long time. We've been doing this almost a year now, and frankly, that's what it took to build an army of people, the grassroots enthusiasm across this state. I want to thank the candidates that are in this race. I know that we don't know yet who's going into the runoff with me, but I want to thank you for lending your voice and your viewpoints to this conversation. Thank you for serving your community. I am so thrilled that we have a bench of people, and I'm looking forward to working with y'all in the future. And I want to have one more message, because my kids are already asleep, luckily, so I don't have to send out a message to them. My last message is for you, John Cornyn. Your time is done because you've sold us out. We've given you plenty of time, and it's over. You're fired. Pack it up, Buttercup, because I'm coming for your seat. Thank you so much. See you guys in the runoff.
We'll have a full breakdown of the rain timeline.
Plus, it is primary election night right here in Texas. Will Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar keep his job?
And I'm live with the Republican push to take the sheriff's spot.
And the fight for District 23 begins. I'll have the Democratic push.
And I'm following the Republicans to see which of the 9 candidates hopes to pick up the torch from outgoing Congressman Will Hurd.
Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now.
It's a very busy election night in San Antonio, and we have 2 major stories unfolding right now.
Voting results are pouring in on this Super Tuesday, plus possible severe storms rolling into the area tonight. You can see them there moving in from the west on live radar.
We're bringing you team coverage of the storms and the most buzzed about races on this primary night in Texas. Here in Bexar County, election officials say results are delayed and they're coming in more slowly than normal.
Couple of reasons for that. The ballot is very long. Several races have a lot of candidates.
The county elections department tells us 110,000 people voted just today.
Let's go to the race for Bexar County Sheriff. Right now, here's what the Democratic field looks like. Sheriff Javier Salazar pulling 56% of the vote. No big surprise there. Let's go live to Eyewitness News reporter Henry Ramos, live with the Salazar campaign. And Henry, he has to be feeling pretty confident right now.
He certainly is, Barry. In fact, he's standing right behind me along with his wife. Sheriff all smiles right now with a thumbs up. Live on the air at KENS 5, he said, you know it. 4 more years is what the crowd has been chanting here tonight. As the sheriff seeks his second term, he's hoping to remain in his spot. Now tonight, Salazar said he's been confident in this race. He says, you know, despite his 4 years, seeing different aspects with, you know, the arrest of fellow deputies and escapes of inmates, he says his administration has been full of transparency. And he does admit, though, that this race has been tough, and here's why.
Just the sheer number of opponents that I had is what was a little bit daunting at times. But you know, we've got our record to go on, and I think that you know, we've shown that no matter what obstacle that this administration faces, we crash through it head on.
And you hear the crowd chanting 4 more years. We are still waiting on more results from the elections office. So, of course, they're certainly confident right now, but we still have a little bit more work left to do in terms of numbers. We'll, of course, keep you updated right here at KENS 5 and KENS5.com. Reporting live just north of downtown, Henry Ramos, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Henry. One of the most controversial candidates in the Democratic sheriff's race is Michelle Barrientos-Velez. She's currently facing multiple felony charges. The former Precinct 2 constable is in 3rd place right now.
Republican candidates are also hoping to oust Sheriff Salazar, and here's how the race stands now. We continue our team coverage with Eyewitness News reporter Roxy Bustamante. Roxy?
Sharon, I'm downtown here inside the Smoke Barbecue restaurant where supporters have been waiting for those results to be rolling in here, and they have been rolling in slowly. Now, joining me now is Republican candidate Willie Ning. So tell me, you know, what has been the biggest challenge for the race for Bexar County Sheriff?
I think the biggest challenge is the obvious challenge, right? Not having the name recognition. I've done everything, and my team did everything positive. We worked really hard. We did everything. I'm very proud of our accomplishment. I don't have the name recognition as Rickoff does, but I have the better experience, the better knowledge to run that agency.
We have a lot of supporters here tonight, you know, and we also know that there are some issues at polling locations. Will you accept the results, or will you ask for a recount?
Well, it depends on if it's just gross negligence, I'll ask for a recount. But if not, I'll accept what the constituents said, how they voted. Like I said, this position doesn't identify who I am. I'm who I am, and I'm very proud of that.
Thank you so much for your time. I'll let you join your supporters. Thank you again. And we again are waiting for those official results to come in from the Bexar County Elections Office. We'll keep you updated on KENS5.com. Roxy Bustamante, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Roxy. Texas is a huge prize in the presidential race with 228 pledged delegates up for grabs.
Democratic candidates have been making a lot of stops across the state, including in San Antonio. Right now, Bernie Sanders is leading in the state of Texas, but a very tight race. Joe Biden in 2nd place, 29 then 25%. Michael Bloomberg is in 3rd, and it matters in which order they finish because the delegates are proportioned out depending on how many votes each candidate gets. And on the Republican side, President Trump has won the primary contest in Texas. We're going to continue our Super Tuesday election coverage in just a minute.
But first, let's track the storms heading this way. Meteorologist Megan Massey is timing them out for us. Megan?
That's right. In fact, we still have conditions favorable to support strong to severe storms later tonight, mainly after midnight. Kind of a change in our weather pattern, especially with the updated weather models. Most of those show showers and thunderstorms really firing up and flaring up over western counties after midnight tonight. But right now, we're still looking at scattered shower activity. Most of the shower activity is behaving, so nothing severe on radar right now. But we are mostly cloudy. A lot of us will stay overcast tonight, even seeing a few pockets of cloud to ground lightning here. This is over Mexico, and this
for District 23, and as those top three are kind of rising out of the pack, we'll keep an eye on the results, and if a runoff is needed in May, we'll let you know that as well. Back to you.
Thank you, Leah. Now here's the Democratic race for District 23. Gina Ortiz Jones is in the lead right now with 72%. Let's go live to Eyewitness News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry, who just spoke to the candidate. Jaleesa?
Yeah, with just a few precincts reporting, Gina Ortiz Jones walked into this watch party with a big smile on her face as she took a massive lead in this primary. Jones was the clear Democratic frontrunner here, and she was no stranger to this race. Jones ran against Congressman Will Hurd back in 2018 and lost by less than 1,000 votes. Now, still, Jones didn't give up. When Hurd announced he would be seeking re-election, the Texas Tribune reports she raised over $100,000 in the 24 hours that followed. Jones is a former Air Force intelligence officer and was raised in San Antonio. Jones says tonight's outcome is a result of a lot of hard work from her campaign.
You know, it's one step closer to making sure that this district is well represented. It'd be an honor to serve and make sure again that we are moving our country in the right direction.
Now, when we asked Jones why she thinks this district is ready for another Democrat, she says it's not about parties, it's about having a public servant's mindset to better this community. Reporting live in downtown San Antonio, Jaleesa Irizarry, KEMS 5 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jaleesa. Now to the race for U.S. Senate.
Boy, there is a fight for one of two Texas Senate seats on the Republican side. No big surprise, incumbent John Cornyn leading with 78% of the votes counted so far. And on the Democratic side, there is a packed field of candidates there. There are 12 candidates on the Democratic side. MJ Hager is in the lead right now with 26%.
Candidates need to earn at least 50% of the vote to win tonight's primary election outright. If no one receives at least 50% in a given race, the top two candidates will go into a runoff election, and that will happen May 26th.
We're going to have election results scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout this newscast. And again, you can text the word results to us at 210-366-2002. We'll send you a link to our voting results page, and there you can see the results of every local race. Again, text this. Please don't call. The number text is 210-366-2002.
We're spreading facts, not fear, about